listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Everybody, and welcome to Alive Again on PetLifeRadio.com. My name is Brent Atwater, and I'm a medical intuitive. And on this show, I look inside your animal's body to diagnose their health issues, and we determine if your pet can reincarnate. How do I do that? I look at their life force energy, follow it through death, and track it into the future to see if and when your pet will return. Now, pet loss is a really heavy issue that weighs upon the hearts of those who just suffered through the death of a pet. And because of that, one of the things we're going to deal with today is guilt surrounding the death of your pet. We have a caller that will be visiting us after our sponsor break who will tell us her story, and then Meg, who is our animal hope counselor, is going to tell us a little bit about herself and then give Karen tips on how to deal with her guilt. I'm looking forward to talking with you, and I hope this is going to help you today. And I really appreciate you listening to us on your podcast. Here's a message from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Is the coast clear?
Yes. Let's go.
Are you sure they went to Petco?
Where else would they go?
Oopsie.
Calm down.
I smell presents.
Go to PetLifeRadio.com/Petco and get up to 40% off hundreds of holiday items at Petco. PetLifeRadio.com/Petco.
Uh-oh, step on it.
Okay.
Oh, not on my tail.
Petco, where the pets go. Dyson.
The new Dyson Animal Vacs are powerful bagless upright vacuums for homes with pets. Air muscle and radio root cyclone technology generates the strongest suction power to powerfully remove dust, dirt, and pet hair from the home or car. To order your Dyson Animal Vac, go to PetLifeRadio.com/Dyson. PetLifeRadio.com/Dyson to order your Dyson Animal Vac today.
Dyson, music to your ears.
When you're looking to add a pet into your life, consider adopting a homeless animal from your local shelter or rescue group. Whether you want a kitten, puppy, or a more mature pet, a purebred or a one-of-a-kind mixed breed, even a rabbit or hamster, your shelter has the best selection of animals anywhere, all screened for good health and behavior. PetLifeRadio.com presents Take Me Home with your host, Susan Daffron. Join us each week as we showcase wonderful pets, tell stories, and even throw some pet education into the mix. So get ready to find out why the pet adoption option can be a great way to add a furry companion into your life. Take Me Home every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com. Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
We're back, just like you want your animals to be. However, today we're going to deal with grief after pet loss. Now, Meg is our animal hope counselor. And Meg, why don't you give us a little bit of your background, if you would?
Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here with you today. As Brent said, I'm an animal hope counselor. And what that means is I help you move through your grief, and I teach you why pet loss pain is not forever. Now, personally, I have a bit over 20 years intuitive counseling experience, some of which was spent in hospice. So I am very familiar with the feelings and the transitions that people take as they're going through and experiencing the loss of a loved one, be it a pet or a person. And this is something that I'd like to share with you a little bit about myself. When I first started noticing that I had intuition feelings, this was when I was about as young as 5 years old. And growing up, experiencing unusual things, I decided at that time, I decided, no, this is not something I want to get involved in, and I just put everything on the back burner and put everything on hold. And if you can imagine saying no to the universe Well, that's what I did. And as time went on, I found more and more situations that put me right smack dab in the middle of people who needed help. And the more I opened up my heart and the more I asked for guidance for myself and for them, the more was given to me. So at that point, I realized that it wasn't about me, and I had to get out of my way, and it was more about the gift of peace and of healing. So I'm happy to say and to be a part of Pet Life Radio and be with Brent. If you have a question about a pet loss or bereavement, you're experiencing something that you'd like some help with, please do send a quick email to Meg at Pet Life Radio. And right now, we have a very special person on the line. Brent and I received an email that really, really touched our hearts.
That's for sure.
What did you think, Brent, when you read that?
Well, I first of all want to applaud Karen for having the courage to even be able to write it, because I would not even have the ability to be able to write the email, Karen. So our heart goes out to you. We have with us today a really brave woman, because I'm such a wuss that I would never have been able to recount the experience that she's going to tell us today. And it touched Meg's and our heart so much that we wanted Karen to share her story with you. And then we're going to work with Karen and teach you how to deal with guilt over the death of a pet. Karen, if you'll share your stories with us. And how is Arizona today, by the way?
Yeah, our weather finally turned, and it's getting pretty chilly.
Well, some of us are sitting over here in almost 80-degree weather, and you're in what, 30s?
Yes.
Ooh, not fun.
It dropped down to 29 last night.
And winter is on the way. So tell us about your story, please.
Okay, I had gone out and to work on the backhoe, and I had set it up, put the outriggers out.
And for those who are city-fied and don't know what a backhoe is, tell everybody what a backhoe is and what you do with a backhoe.
Okay, the backhoe, it has a bucket in the front, but the backhoe part, it has an arm with a bucket on it, and it extends out, and you can dig holes with it.
It's like a big old tractor for those of you who live in the city and have never seen one.
Yes. And once I had set the outriggers, set it up, and I started working, pulling up big trees and everything away from our septic. And is what I didn't notice is that, Doctor, I'm sorry.
No, you just hang on. It's okay.
Take your time.
She had come down, and I did not see her. She had come down, and she got underneath the tractor, and she just laid there. And I
she
didn't
was
know
what
that
she was doing.
there. And so when I got done doing what I was doing, I was on it for about a good 20 minutes, so I know that she was asleep. And I locked the bucket back up, pulled up the arm, locked the bucket, pulled up the outriggers, and turned the seat, and I put it in gear, and I ran over her.
Oh.
And after that, I got her, and I was able to get her into the truck because it caused a real long wound on her right side and on her back leg. And when I got her to the vet, they took her straight in, and he called me. That happened around noontime, and he called me about 4:30, said that they had finally got her all cleaned up. They got the wound closed, which it was a good foot long down her leg, and he said nothing was broken. She was doing really well, and he said that I could come in and see her the next morning. And
how far were you from the vets?
I was about 3.5 miles. I was about, and on our dirt road, I was about a half an hour away from him.
Okay.
So I got her there. She was sitting up, and they got her in. They worked on her, and just sometime that night, I sat up in bed about between 2 and 3, and I called her name, and I just laid down and cried. And then Dr. Despain called me about 7:30 the next day and said that she had passed sometime in the night.
Our hearts go out to you.
I'm having a very hard time dealing with this because it's my fault. And this little dog was my heart, my soul.
Yeah, and she's precious too. You can look at her little face, and when she looks at you, she looks right into your soul.
Absolutely. She looks right into your heart, and you can feel the love from the picture that you send.
And quite the little feisty girl she was when she's walking on that bucket.
Oh, yeah. She would get into the horse troughs. If we went out for a long ride, the dogs always go with us. And we'd come home. She'd either jump over the wall into the pool, or else she'd go straight to the horse trough.
And how old was she?
She was 3.
Let's take a sponsor's break for a minute.
We'll transport back into the metaphysical right after these earthly words from our sponsors.
It's the holidays at PetSmart, so come one and all. There are hundreds of gifts for pets big and pets small. Toys only at PetSmart, so special and new. They'll love the gifts. You'll love the value. Hurry to PetSmart today for your very best friend and save 30 to 50% before the holiday ends.
The holidays are just around the corner. Go to PetLifeRadio.com/PetSmart and save up to 30% on awesome gifts for the pets and pet people in your life. Toys, collars, leashes, PetSmart gift cards, treats, and more. So shop early and save money. Go to PetLifeRadio.com/PetSmart today.
Love your pets but wish their medications were a lot less expensive? They are at 1-800-PET-MEDS. You'll not only save on flea and heartworm medications, but on prescriptions for arthritis, incontinence, thyroid, and more. And you get fast service, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Plus, our licensed pharmacists ensure accuracy, monitor drug interaction, and more. See why over 5 million people have trusted their pets' health to 1-800-PET-MEDS, America's largest pet pharmacy. Call now or order online.
Go to PetMeds.com/lucky, LUCKY, to get 10% off any order and free shipping on orders of $39 or more at PetMeds.com.
Pet Life Radio presents Paranormal Pets, where you can always expect the unexpected. Each week we'll discuss all aspects of weird or spiritual animal encounters, ghosts, totems, psychic animals, animal souls, animal angels, and animals in religion, with a little cryptozoology thrown in. Step into the supernatural world of pets with your Paranormal Pets ghostly host, Dusty Rainbolt, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
I am back on the air with Karen and the story of her dog, Badger. And for those of you who are out there, one of the first steps in moving through the guilt of grief associated with pet loss is doing exactly what Karen did today. And Meg's going to speak about that a little bit more. But we want to thank Karen for telling the story about Badger. And I'm going to let Meg talk about techniques to deal with guilt. And then I'm going to address it from the reincarnation side. And so, Karen, if you have any specific questions for Meg, just go ahead and ask them. And it will help just all the thousands of people that listen to this show. And then I'll look at Badger and we'll track him and see if he's going to come back to you. What's your questions, Karen?
Just how can I forgive myself for doing this to her?
One of the things that I had mentioned to you a little bit off the air when I started to is that we all thank you so much for bringing this to this program, because the gift that you're giving other listeners who have experienced this or perhaps will experience this in the future, you're giving them a gift that honors Badger. So thank you so much for bringing this to us. And both Brent and I, we understand and we can feel how you're feeling. It is something that it shouldn't happen to anybody, but it does happen because there are such things as accidents. And so there is no fault on this. You do not own this. This is not something that belongs to you, but you can choose if you're going to accept this guilt and draw it into you and make it part of you. That's a choice. You can also choose to put a little bit of distance in it and understand that it was an accident, that it could have happened to anybody at any time. And the way that you do this, Karen, is that every time you get a picture or a thought that's not positive and does not represent your true love for Badger, I want you to make a choice and to change that thought. Each thought, one at a time, you're going to replace it with a happy, beautiful memory or a happy picture of Badger. Each time something pops into your head, you're going to put your hand up in your head and you're going to say, no, I'm not going to accept that because what's past is past. And what you're going to do is change it with a happy picture or a happy memory. This means if you have to go through your house and you take your photographs, you put them up, you take Xerox copies and you put them in your car, you put them out by the backhoe, you may want to bless the backhoe.
Yes. I've had a real hard time even wanting to get on it and work on it.
Okay. Now, this is going to sound strange, but part of that backhoe helped in the transition from Badger being on Earth to Badger's energy being on the other side. Badger being on the other side is not in pain and is happy and playing with all the animals on the other side and is in a better place than all of us are right now.
Okay, and on that note, let's take a quick break and we'll listen to our sponsors.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Celebrate your special occasion and give her this classic semi-eternity band created with 1-carat brilliant diamonds, channel set in 14-carat white gold. Exclusively yours from ICE.com. Free shipping over $150, free returns, and 30-day money-back guarantee.
Go to ICE.com and use promo code ACTFP and get 20% off your purchase. Or use promo code ADTFP and get 20% off at Diamond.com. ICE.com or Diamond.com. Get 20% off from Pet Life Radio.
How would you like your business to reach out and invite in our audience? We have a brand new trademark concept called InfoSeeds. InfoSeeds are short 20-second seeds of information about your place of business, practice, or service. Is the best, most cost-effective way to invite us in. We only have a limited number of slots left. For more information, visit the website
PetLifeRadio.com.
Click on sponsorship information. There you can listen to a sample of InfoSeed. Remember, only a limited number of opportunities are available.
Hi, this is Marcy Davis and my service dog Whistle, and we're your hosts of Working Like Dogs on Pet Life Radio. Working Like Dogs is the show where you can learn everything you ever wanted to know about working animals or working dogs. Whether you're a member of a working dog team or you've just seen a working dog or animal out at the mall or the grocery store and you're curious about how these amazing animals work with their human partners, then Working Like Dogs is the show for you. Join us for the inside scoop at Working Like Dogs on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Thank you, sponsors, for being part of our show. We really appreciate it. And thank you, Karen, for being here today. I look at energy, Karen, and I come from a different place than bereavement counseling. And what I determine is the energy transition from Badger living today until they reincarnate in the future. One of the ways reincarnation believes is that there are no accidents and there are no coincidences. And when you have a soul contract in life, you contract for death to be exactly as it's played out. So the reincarnation looks at Badger and you when you were both on the other side and sitting on the little clouds with your little angel wings, looks at that as saying, okay, This time, I'm going to be with you a short while, and we're going to learn a lesson about always looking around before we start the backhoe.
Yes.
So when you have what is known as a God animal is an animal that stays for a short period of time, but makes a tremendous emotional attachment with you and creates a large lesson in your life, okay? And usually those lessons are those that create the most, quote, guilt within the owner. In a reincarnation view, Badger and you contracted that she would do this. Now, the good part of it is that she light sand, and then there was nothing broken. Well, the very fact that there was nothing broken, even though if as an animal medical intuitive I looked inside of her, I think really what happened is she had some internal bleeding, and that's why she passed. Because when I look inside her body, she may have even had a ruptured spleen, okay?
Yes.
And that is a quick, painless death. So don't worry, and I don't mean to say it that way. She didn't hurt. That's the best way to say that. Another thing for you to know is the very fact that you were interwoven together. When I had a dog that reincarnated in the book Animal Reincarnation, it answers this question. And in the book I'm Home, A Dog's Never-Ending Love Story, it talks about my dog named Electra. Well, when Electra passed away, she happened to be in another location than I was. I sat bolt upright in the middle of the bed, and I spoke out her name. And the next morning I woke up and recognized that she had passed because they told me she did. So the very fact that you woke up at 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning is proof positive that you and her souls were interwoven together in the fabric of life. I mean, the minute you said that you woke up and called out her name, what you did is basically her soul notified your soul that she was going to transition, and your hearts walked across the transition together.
Oh, okay.
So you held her hand, or you held her paw, or you held her heart. Because my last dog, before the dog with the bee on his bottom, Friend, he was very sick, and I was very tired, and I laid him on the bed beside me, and I said, Dear God, please look after Friend, but I want to be with him when he passes. And so I stretched out on the bed and went to sleep, and at 4:44 in the morning, I woke bolt upright, just like you said you did, just bolt upright. And I went to get up, and everything inside of me said, look at Friend. And I looked over at Friend, and he took his very last breath. And it really upset me then. But what I realize now is the fact that her soul woke your soul up is you had an agreement to walk her heart to the other side. Okay. And that was that's what woke you up in the middle of the night, is her energy interfaced with your energy, tugged on the fabric of the lives and the contract that you had together. And she said, Mom, I'm going to leave now. And the reason you cried was both from the human point of view, is that you were hurting from a human standpoint, but your soul also understood that she had crossed.
Yes.
I mean, your soul already knew it. Now, your human outsideness had not, but your soul did understand it, because the next morning when you called and they tell her you passed, even though it upset you because real is real, you had already dealt with it when you sat up bright and early in the morning. So, Miss Meg, let's give Karen some tips on how to deal with her guilt.
And one of the last things in which we talked about was about forgiving yourself. And so, Karen, I want to ask you, you have a best friend or someone that you respect and you admire, correct?
Yes.
If they went through the same thing and they came to you, what would you say to them?
I'd tell them that it wasn't their fault, it was an accident, and that there was a reason for it.
There is a reason for it, right? And Brent explained it beautifully. And as you said, you felt a connection. You woke up in the middle of the night, so you know you have the soul connection with Badger. One of the things is, as you move forward, is that you can choose how you're feeling, which is what we talked about, and then you can actually take action and do something. So you can volunteer or donate pet supplies or food. You can make a happy memory album. And, you know, over at Facebook, we have a page, Pet Obituary and Tributes page. And you can put up a picture of Badger with her date of birth and the date that she left Earth. And you can put a beautiful thoughts and feelings on there so that everyone in the world can see this.
And that's Friend contributing.
Because this is a permanent tribute to your pet. Also, we have a group on there we want to invite you to, Animal Reincarnation Research, a group, and we'd love for you to come on and ask whatever questions you have, because we have many people there who are going through the same thing as you have gone through. They may be waiting for their pet to return back to them. Some of them have just had losses. So we do want to invite you there as well. But one of the most important things to know is that as you start celebrating your pet's life and focusing on the gratitude, even though you're going to miss them, as time goes on, that pain is going to grow dimmer. And you're going to be able to smile when you look at the old pictures. And this is because Badger has opened up your heart. And at that point in time, when the time is right, you'll know when the time is right. You'll feel that the time is right. And you'll start to look for another animal, not to take Badger's place, but just to add to your family. So be grateful for the gift that Badger has given you, and you can even write a list of all the things that Badger taught you and the wonderful things that she gave you. And Brent, what about reincarnation at this point?
Karen, what do you feel? Do you feel that Badger's coming back, or what's your feelings on that?
Well, my feelings are that I hope she does.
Mm-hmm.
If she will, if she forgives me.
Okay, that's something very important to address, is if the animal that they feel guilt over forgives you. And Meg, that's a whole nother topic for Meg here. But from the reincarnation part of view, the fact that this is real critical for you to understand, Karen.
Yes.
You contracted to do this. You and Badger planned her death to be this way. She probably also chose to die away from you, but not being left out of having a heart connection with you, because you are so sensitive to her that you probably couldn't have handled her being deceased and going downhill in front of you. Is that correct?
Well, I was feeling guilty because I wasn't there for her.
Okay, but let me point this out. You were there for her. The minute you woke up, your heart was holding her heart.
Yes.
You want me to say that again?
I understand that now.
Okay, well, that's important. If you were not there for her, you would not have woken up.
Yes. Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, then I wouldn't have had that connection with her.
Exactly. So if you were not supposed to cross over with her when she went to the other side, your soul would never have awakened.
Okay.
You'd have slept on through the night.
Yes.
But her soul contacted your soul and said, Mom, walk with me. And she did.
Okay, now I understand. Okay.
That's why you woke up. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, now let's look and see, and then we'll be wrapping up the show soon, and we're going to track to see if Badger is coming back. Now, how do we do that? Well, I'm going to look at Badger's picture, which is the most soulful little thing you've ever seen, standing, it looks like, in the horse's water trough. It appears that she liked to play in that trough. Is that true?
Yes.
Bless her heart. And then I love, my favorite one is her standing on the edge of the trough. And then she just goes in. Yes. It's really, for those of you who are interested in finding out if your pet will reincarnate, do send us a photograph, because it gives me a quick read and an easy intro into your pet's energy. So what I'm going to do now, and I know that you don't like radio time, this downtime, I'm going to look very quickly, and I'm going to ask Badger permission to see your energy field. I'm now going to look at Badger pre-transition. I'm going to look at Badger now as she's transitioning. And she did have internal bleeding. That's what she passed away of. For you to know, Karen.
Okay.
Because when I'm looking at the area inside her body was either a ruptured spleen or one of the main arteries feeding her heart. It had like a little edge that had been hyperextended due to the weight of the backhoe.
Yes.
And so it just burst. So that's a very rapid transition.
Yes.
So she didn't hurt. That's for you you need to know that. Okay. This is interesting. When I asked Badger, is she planning on returning? And I hear 2.5 to 5 years. And I go back to the energy and I say, why so long? And she says that, is there a possibility that you're thinking about moving?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm hearing that she is coming back to you, but the difference is between the 2.5 and 5 years is she is trying to determine, that is going to determine, if you move, is going to determine when she's going to come back to you.
Oh, okay.
Because she says that you're thinking about moving, and that's making the difference. Let me go back in and see what else I see here. When she comes back the next time, she's going to be solid black.
Solid black.
Yep. She says she wants to be shiny.
Okay. I was really worried about that because her being a mixed breed, how would I know?
Well, first of all, if you're that connected in your heart with her, which you are because you walked her to the other side, you will know because you'll feel that same feeling. It grabs your gut, and you remember how it woke you up out of a dead sleep?
Yes.
Well, you'll feel it that palpably inside yourself when you're awake. And it'll be like birthing contractions for the pain, like the birthing contractions of a mother giving birth. You'll just feel the energy inside yourself and inside yourself and inside yourself and inside yourself. And it will just compel you to go to where you're led. And in the Animal Reincarnation book, it lists how to find her and all these little strange things. And if you want to talk with her and communicate with her between the time that she arrives, between 2.5 and 5 years, then it teaches you how to touch her, how to talk to her, and how to ask her questions. So if you want to feel her and touch her and see her, the Animal Reincarnation book has techniques on how to do that. So that might be something you want to do if you want to communicate with her in between. Now, when you're getting ready to move, she's going to... And what I listen to, for those of us, you're going, who in the world is she listening to? I'm listening to my guides and the information that I'm being given. Do you have an event? Are you graduating from a school, or is there some event that's happening in 3.5 years from now that's important to you? Very important to you?
No. There's just a lot going on in my life right now.
It's very transitional.
It probably will be transitional.
Well, I think her, and I mean this from my heart, I think that by her leaving early is, okay, you have other dogs, don't you?
Yes.
And she said that, you never gave them as much attention as you gave her. Is that correct? She was the lead dog.
Yes.
She was the queen dog. Okay, is what she's saying here. Okay, I think what she's doing is the other dogs, she said she was also always, quote, into everything. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. Well, whatever this transition you're going through, she feels that her being into everything would have been an added distraction for your transitional time frame, and that as soon as you move or when you make this transition, and I don't know what that is, but whatever it is, whether it's something that's significant in your life, that you'll be more steady and steadfast when you come to the other side of it, then that's when she's going to come back to you, because she feels like her energy, and this is terrible to say, and she's saying that as much attention as you pay to her, you need to focus on you and your life, and then when you come back, she's going to celebrate by being with you the other side of that transition. So basically, she's waiting for you to get your stuff together so that she can share more of it, because she says she wants more attention, and that you have so much to think about right now that this will take a burden off you. Is that true?
Yes. I had a feeling that I had that kicking around in my head. Did she leave me because I have to face this by myself?
Oh, now, first of all, you don't have to face this by yourself because she's there with you. Get that book and talk to her and feel her and pat her, and she'll come stretch out beside you. And she slept on the bed with you near your knees?
Yes.
Okay, well, chills all over me on that one. She'll be sleeping right there for the next 1.5 years.
Okay.
So if you feel her, if you boil over and feel a little ball of cold energy, ask Miss Badgie. She's going to be directing you from the other side. But whatever this is, you have to do this in your own life. It's your soul's path, and then as soon as you get through it, she's going to be right there in wiggly puppy form, solid black and shiny, she says, to take on the next chapter.
Yes, it was her passing that really changed everything, made me just decide that, yes, I'm going to sell this place, yes, we're going to move. And now all my focus is on my husband. He was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer.
I'm sorry. So you've had a lot to handle.
Yes.
Well, our prayers are definitely with you, Meg.
Yes, our hearts go out to you. Karen, I have to tell you, Badger, smart little dog. And when it's time, as Brent says, when the time is right, she'll come back to you. The thing is to open up your heart, Karen, and to try not to stay too long with the feelings of guilt and grief, because that is what's going to block the love and you being able to feel Badger, as Brent indicated. So try to use happy pictures, happy thoughts. We're not saying to you not to feel your feelings. Yes, do feel your feelings, but don't stay there.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, because the thing to do is, remember, you open up to, let's see, my fiance was killed, so when you stop grieving, which took me 7 years, so I can't tell anybody to hurry, but every time you can think about it, I'm looking forward to seeing you, Badgie. I'm getting it done, Badgie, and that's like the reason I'm doing this show.
Well, I when she passed and going through everything, I was wondering if, and then I started thinking she had come back to me when I needed her the most.
Yep.
She's still going to be with you, Karen. As Brent said, you're going to be able to feel her. The important thing is that when we stay in very, very sad feelings and grief, it actually blocks the energy, because love is an energy, grief and sadness is an energy. You don't want to block the love that's coming towards you.
Right.
Okay.
She will be there through, I know you're talking about you responding to your husband's death. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah. She'll be there by then.
Yeah.
She will be back by then. You know what I mean?
Yes, because the doctor said we could probably give him maybe 5 years.
That's why the outside time frame, yes. Mm-hmm. She will be back before your husband passes.
Yes.
So, as Meg said, focus on, take her pictures around and put it on the backhoe and say, I celebrate your memory, I celebrate all the good, and I'm looking forward for you to come back and be kissing me again. Mm-hmm. And I know that that's hard to do, but you're carrying a whole lot right now. You're carrying more than most people would have to carry, and I applaud you for that. And the very fact that you can actually talk about it is going to help so many people, and that's part of Badgie's job. By doing this, you came on the show. By being on the show, there's thousands of people out there who hurt and feel like you do, and by listening to the techniques that Meg has given and from your heart, how you've explained to us how thousands and thousands and a gazillion or more that Badgie has already started to help. So we want to thank you for being on the show today, and we want to tell all our listeners we greatly appreciate you listening to us. If you want to call me or talk to me, then you can check us on our website at www.brentatwater.com. If you want to email me questions, email me at brent@petliferadio.com, and to get in touch with Meg, who can help you through your grief, meg@petliferadio.com. You want to check us out? Hey, we're on Facebook, YouTube, MySpace, and all the social media, and you can follow us. And we're not going to send you just, I had coffee today and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. We're going to send you meaningful stuff. Also, if you're listening to the show and you want to take us with you, get us on iTunes, and you can get us on podcast. And we thank everybody at Pet Life Radio for making this possible. And Karen, thank you for sharing with us. Meg, thank you for all your help, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon. Until then, we hope we helped heal your heart.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.